We had to make some decisions that day that would make sure that she had a family in the future, and
well, at least give her the best chances.
Absolutely,
because you ended up not knowing what had happened. So,
yeah.
so what was this 190-mile journey that I'm hearing about?
Yeah, so because in Cornwall we only have a level 2 neonatal unit, we do incredibly well. They work really hard there, but they're not level 3 accredited, and babies that are born less than 28 weeks needed level 3 care. So that we had to coordinate and find a unit that could accept Jennie, Rich and the babies, and Oxford was our nearest unit. So we had to call in the Coast Guard team, the helicopter, because Jennie was labouring, and we had to make decisions quickly that day. And Jennie got transferred in the Coast Guard unit, the helicopter, with me up to Oxford. But they do a great job, those Coast Guard guys.
No, stop talking about everybody else. Stop it. Stop deflecting the limelight and the spotlight on you. You did this all last night. They know this. They're happy for you, all right? We're talking about you now.
Oh, wow.
When somebody steps up to the plate, above and beyond the plate. Right, because you're rubbish at saying how good you are. Jennie, do you take over?
No.
Come on.
Jane is more than good. She's absolutely incredible. She kept me calm in the moment where I needed to stay the calmest I possibly could, because the more stressed I got, the worse the labour would be, and the greater the chance of things going wrong. So,
well, the chances of going wrong were much greater at the time than the chances of things going right.
Yeah, 100%. We didn't have... We clung to hope, we willed everything on, but there wasn't a lot of odds in the boys' favour.
Okay, and you were at the last rung on the hope ladder, because you went through 5 rounds of IVF,
absolutely,
didn't
yeah,
you?
Yeah.
And a lot of people, who Jane particularly in that situation, she knew that these babies might be the last chance you ever had.
Indeed she did, yeah.
And so they had to...
She saw it in my eyes.
Yeah, it's like, you don't understand. So
yeah.
In other circumstances... other decisions may have been made.
Yes.
But everybody was with you that day, weren't they?
Yes, and we were actually told that in other circumstances, had I been 5 years younger, and we wouldn't necessarily have been going forward with the journey that we did, but that wasn't the case, and everyone was fighting for us. They were. And
did you get the sense that everybody sort of tacitly knew how... I mean, obviously it's important anyway, but...
Yeah.
but if it can be more important than in any other... People got that on the day.
Yeah, I think they did. I think they knew that we'd gone through a pregnancy loss at the same stage of the journey 2 years prior, and everyone just willed us and put all their expertise, all their love into it, and that's how it happened. That just... all the energy just made sure that it fell on the right side of the line. I'm sure
Dad,
of it.
come on, Dad, tell us about you in this story.
So, I didn't get to go in a helicopter.
Have you been in one since?
Only when it was on the ground, when we went back to visit Jane down in Cornwall. So, but yeah, no, I followed in the car behind and had to give my sort of trust of everyone over to sort of Jane. So,
and there's literally nothing you can do apart from make sure you get there at some point.
It was, yeah, exactly. Hope, beating the Cornish holiday traffic as well. But yeah, it was just hope and willing.
What did you think at the time?
It was pure fear. I think really fear of loss, coming back to haunt us again, because it was as Jennie said earlier, it was exactly the sort of same stage in the same circumstances. When we got to Oxford, the consultant said it was a 0% chance of Jensen, the little one, surviving, and Reuben had about a 20% sort of chance of survival as well. So it was absolute fear, but just trying to be strong really for Jennie and the boys, and hoping that we were going to come through it, and we would be positive. And it's people like Jane, not just Jane though, the whole of the NHS, the support that they gave us, at the John Radcliffe as well, the neonatal unit there, and
not just Jane,
No,
just blimmin' Jane, Pep. No, you're right, Jane. Actually, you're right. It's everybody else that should be thanked, not you.
Yeah.
But in that situation, I've been in a similar situation with my wife. You really care for your wife more than anybody else at that point, don't you? Because you know what it might do to her.
Yeah, it was so the surgeons suddenly brought forwards when we were there. They suddenly brought forwards the cesarean, because all of a sudden Jen's infection markers went through the roof. So there was a real risk to her not making it, not just the boys at that point. So normally they would give steroids an extra 12 hours to help, but they suddenly had to rush her in. So I'd already gone out to call Jen's parents, Mike and Carol. And then by the time I come back in, Jen was basically being rushed and prepped for surgery at that point. So, yeah, it was a real...
I mean, it's unbelievable that the boys are here now, isn't it?
Yeah.
It is literally unbelievable.
It's a miracle.
It is a miracle.
Yeah.
You know, 0% for Jensen. There he is, look.
I
He's
know.
even putting up with Vassos.
He's doing quite well for a 0%.
Oh, I tell you what. And they're so bonny, both of them. I mean, you had them at the dinner table last night before Super Grand took over. Well done, by the way. Just absolutely gorgeous. Fantastic to have you all here. What a wonderful story.
The Chris Evans Breakfast Show with Sky.